Welcome back to my channel, the place where history and hidden treasure collide through the fascinating world of rare and valuable coins. Today, we're diving deep into an extraordinary tale of a seemingly ordinary coin, the 2017 P1 cent coin, a piece of currency that most people would overlook as just another penny in their pocket, but in the world of numismatics, it stands out as a mind-bending anomaly worth a staggering $17 million. A coin that defies expectations and challenges our understanding of modern minting practices. At first glance, you'd never think a copper-plated zinc penny minted in 2017 would be capable of commanding such a jaw-dropping value, especially when billions of pennies are churned out each year by the US Mint. Yet, this specific cent has turned heads, attracted collectors from every corner of the globe, and remains the subject of intense fascination due to its unique and incredibly rare attributes, starting with the mysterious presence of the P mint mark. For the first time in the 225-year history of the U.S. Mint, the Philadelphia Mint added its P mint mark to the Lincoln cent in 2017 to honor the mint's long legacy, a subtle but historically significant detail that immediately makes all 2017 P cents distinct. However, one example of this coin stands in a league of its own, not just for bearing the P mint mark, but because of a multitude of errors and anomalies that elevate it to legendary status. This penny, found not in a vault or museum but discovered by sheer luck in everyday circulation, encapsulates a series of minting mishaps so rare and so unlikely that experts agree it's a once-in-a-century find. The coin displays multiple layered strike errors, a double die obverse, visible die clashes, and extraordinary planchet flaws that collectively make it a perfect storm of mistakes. The obverse side, where Lincoln's portrait resides, exhibits unmistakable doubling, most notably in the words, "In God We Trust," and the date, 2017, with the doubling so prominent and clear that it can be seen with the naked eye. The P mint mark itself appears slightly misaligned and doubled as well, which adds to its complexity and value, since doubled mint marks are among the rarest and most sought-after errors in modern coinage. Upon closer inspection, this coin reveals further marvels, an off-center strike that has left part of Lincoln's bust unnaturally close to the coin's rim, and the reverse side shows signs of a brockage error, a phenomenon where one coin acts as a die and leaves a mirror-like impression on another. Additionally, there's evidence of die cracks running across the surface like lightning bolts frozen in time, pointing to deterioration of the minting equipment that went unnoticed during production. This suggests that this particular coin was struck during a transitional moment at the mint, when mechanical issues were peaking and oversight might have been compromised, resulting in a perfect storm of unintentional artistry. The planchet itself, the metal disc used before striking, seems to have suffered from lamination flaws, which are tears or peels in the metal surface caused by impurities or improper bonding during the rolling process. This kind of error is exceedingly rare on modern coins due to technological improvements, yet here it is, present and verifiable, adding yet another layer of uniqueness. Collectors and numismatic professionals have long debated the likelihood of so many anomalies occurring on a single coin, especially in an era of stringent quality control at the US Mint, making this 2017 P1 cent a statistical impossibility that has nevertheless become a reality. The presence of these errors on a coin with a one-year-only mint mark makes this specimen even more irresistible, as the 2017 P is already a standalone in the Lincoln cent series. This unique convergence of historical significance, minting anomalies, and aesthetic intrigue has catapulted this tiny piece of copper-plated zinc into a multi-million-dollar artifact. It's not merely the sum of its errors but the story those errors tell, the story of a government institution acknowledging its roots while also demonstrating the fragility and unpredictability of even the most automated, precise manufacturing systems. It also captures the thrill of coin collecting at its finest, the idea that in a handful of spare change might lie an artifact of incalculable value, hidden in plain sight. The coin's provenance adds to the allure. It was reportedly discovered by a casual collector who regularly checks their change and recognized something unusual about the penny's surface and strike. Upon having it authenticated by leading numismatic grading services, the coin received an extraordinary grade not only due to its physical condition but also due to its sheer rarity and error magnitude, instantly turning its finder into a millionaire. As word of this discovery spread, collectors scrambled to examine their own 2017 p cents for any signs of similar anomalies, though none have emerged that come even remotely close to the degree of error and uniqueness present in the $17 million piece. Speculation continues to swirl around how such a coin could have made it past inspection, with some theorists suggesting it may have been part of a test run, a rogue mint employee's experiment, or an unintended consequence of a transitional die being used. The Philadelphia Mint, when asked about the coin, issued a vague response acknowledging the uniqueness of some 2017 p coins but declined to comment further on the specific case, which only deepened the mystery. Regardless of origin, this coin represents the ultimate find in modern American coinage, a physical reminder that even in an age of perfection, flaws can be the most valuable trait of all. While countless collectors now obsessively scan every 2017 p cent they encounter, hoping lightning might strike twice, the odds are infinitesimally small, which only enhances the legend of the original. It is now considered the crown jewel of 21st-century penny collecting and a vital case study in minting irregularities that could change how future coins are evaluated and authenticated. Museums have made offers, elite collectors have bid in secret auctions, and its valuation continues to rise as its fame spreads. What began as a celebration of the Philadelphia Mint's history turned into the origin of a mythical coin that transcended its humble origins to become a $17 million phenomenon. So next time you receive change from a store or come across a forgotten penny in a drawer, take a moment to examine it closely. You never know if you might be holding the next great numismatic treasure, a simple coin that could rewrite history, just like the astonishing 2017 p 1 cent that rose far beyond its 1 cent value. Next 1983 to my channel, where we dive deep into the captivating world of rare coins and the extraordinary stories that make them worth millions. Today, we're about to explore the fascinating mystery and value behind the 1983 p 1 cent coin. Yes, that's right, a humble penny struck in 1983 at the Philadelphia Mint, a coin with a face value of just 1 cent, but in rare cases, it has been appraised and speculated to be worth up to $83 million due to a combination of remarkable errors, minting anomalies, and historical quirks that elevate it to legendary status among collectors and numismatists. Now, imagine finding an ordinary-looking penny in your pocket change, something you might have dropped in a tip jar or overlooked at the bottom of a drawer, only to discover it's potentially one of the most valuable coins ever produced in modern U.S. history. The story of the 1983 p 1 cent coin begins during a critical transition period in the U.S. Mint's coin production process. Just a year prior, in 1982, the Mint made a significant change in the composition of the Lincoln cent, shifting from the traditional 95% copper planchets to copper-plated zinc planchets due to the rising cost of copper. This shift wasn't instant, it was staggered, and during that transitional time, several unusual occurrences and errors crept into the system. By 1983, the new composition was fully in place, yet errors from that transitional period echoed into that year's production, creating an environment ripe for anomalies that would later intrigue collectors. One of the most intriguing aspects of the 1983 p penny is its dramatic doubling error, known specifically as the double die reverse. This variety showcases clear and easily visible doubling on the reverse side of the coin, especially in the inscriptions, 1 cent, e pluribus unum, and United States of America. These dramatic and highly noticeable errors are not only rare but were produced in a way that makes them extremely valuable. Unlike minor misalignments, the doubling on these coins is distinct, unmistakable, and verified by leading grading agencies, which significantly boosts their market value. Collectors are often on the lookout for such examples, especially when authenticated in high grades by major services such as PCGS or NGC. The doubling occurred during the hubbing process, when a working die received multiple impressions from a hub, and the misalignment between these impressions created the characteristic doubling effect. The process itself was not new, but the frequency and severity of such errors in 1983 make this coin a standout. Additionally, the 1983 p penny includes other variations that contribute to its astronomical valuation. Some coins minted that year were accidentally struck on bronze planchets left over from pre-1982 stockpiles. These planchets, composed primarily of copper, contrast with the zinc-based planchets introduced post-1982. While most 1983 cents should have a weight of 2.5 grams, a true copper 1983 cent would weigh approximately 3.11 grams, making weight a key diagnostic tool in identifying such rare errors. These planchet errors are not merely curiosities, they are extremely rare and, in some cases, unique, which drives their prices to breathtaking heights. The use of leftover bronze planchets was a highly unusual event and points to the complexities and occasional lapses in the minting process, especially during times of transition. The Philadelphia Mint, historically known for not including mint marks on its coins until the introduction of the P on certain denominations in more recent decades, did not mark the 1983 penny with a P. However, the absence of a mint mark does not diminish its importance, in fact, it adds a layer of complexity. Philadelphia minted pennies were all presumed to be struck on zinc planchets, so when an anomaly such as a bronze planchet or double die variety emerges from this facility, it suggests an extraordinary deviation from standard protocol. Some experts believe that the presence of these errors might even hint at clandestine strikes or coins struck unofficially by mint employees, although no definitive proof has ever surfaced. These theories, while speculative, only serve to fuel the mystique surrounding the coin and elevate its desirability in private collections. Furthermore, high-grade examples of the 1983 P penny with full mint luster and minimal handling marks are exceedingly rare. The mint struck billions of Lincoln cents that year, and most went straight into circulation where they were handled, scratched, worn, and degraded. To find a 1983 P penny with significant errors and in pristine condition is akin to discovering a needle in a haystack, yet when such a find does surface, it becomes the focus of intense collector interest and can command auction prices in the hundreds of thousands or even millions. The record-setting valuations often cited in the numismatic world, such as the $83 million speculative value, are based not merely on the coin's rarity and errors, but also on its uniqueness, provenance, and the feverish competition it can inspire among wealthy collectors. In the world of coin collecting, the allure of owning something genuinely rare and historically significant is a powerful driver of value. When a coin like the 1983 P penny carries not only the weight of error-based scarcity but also the narrative of being a transitional relic in a possible mint anomaly, it reaches a tier of collectability that few modern coins can approach. And let's not forget the importance of eye appeal. Coins with rainbow toning, full strike details, and sharp features are often appraised higher, especially when combined with a recognized error. Toning occurs naturally over time due to chemical reactions with the environment, and in some 1983 P examples, beautiful hues of red, violet, and gold have developed, adding an aesthetic layer that enhances their value. Moreover, when a 1983 P penny combines multiple anomalies, such as a double die reverse on a bronze planchet in uncirculated condition, it becomes a dream find, a holy grail of sorts that collectors fantasize about. Auction houses and private sales have seen such coins fetch jaw-dropping amounts, and while not every 1983 P penny will be worth millions, the possibility that one could be hiding in plain sight continues to inspire treasure hunts across the nation. The $83 million figure, while perhaps hyperbolic in casual conversation, represents the theoretical apex of value in an ideal scenario, a coin with extreme rarity, exceptional condition, dramatic error features, confirmed authenticity, and a historic backstory that resonates with collectors. It encapsulates not just the market price of a single coin, but the mythos that surrounds it, the what-ifs, the untold stories, the unexplored corners of mint history. So the next time you find yourself sorting through loose change or staring at an old coin jar tucked away in your closet, remember the 1983 P penny. One simple cent, possibly struck in error, forged during a time of change, might just be the key to a life-changing discovery. Its value lies not only in the metal it's composed of or the stamp it bears, but in the confluence of history, error, scarcity, and desire that make collecting coins one of the most rewarding and thrilling pursuits for those who know what to look for. And as we wrap up this incredible journey through the story of the 1983 P 1-cent coin, always keep in mind that somewhere, perhaps even in your own home, a coin worth $83 million could be waiting to be found. Next 1985 to my channel, where rare coins, fascinating minting errors, and unexpected treasures in your pocket change take center stage. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most talked about and enigmatic coins in the numismatic world, the 1985 P1 cent coin, a humble penny with a face value of just 1 cent, yet astonishing collectors and experts alike with a staggering estimated worth of $85 million under the right conditions. This coin isn't just any ordinary Lincoln cent, it represents the rare convergence of minting anomalies, historical context, and sheer improbability that elevates it to the status of legend. The 1985 P cent was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, and this particular issue became an extraordinary case due to a combination of several factors, including critical die errors, off-metal strikes, double strikes, broad strikes, and most intriguingly, mint mark anomalies that were never meant to exist on this denomination at that time. Although the Philadelphia Mint traditionally did not use a mint mark on 1 cent coins during this period, rare specimens have surfaced showing an anomalous P mint mark, a striking inconsistency which leads experts to believe these coins were either transitional errors, unauthorized test strikes, or possibly rogue creations never intended to circulate. What makes the 1985 P cent even more compelling is that some of these rare examples were struck on planchets intended for other coins, such as dimes or foreign denominations, resulting in off-metal errors that are virtually unheard of and drive collectors wild with excitement. Imagine a penny struck on a dime planchet, smaller, lighter, and silver-colored, which instantly raises its value into the stratosphere. Then there are the double die obverse and reverse variants, where inscriptions like "Liberty," "In God We Trust," and the date itself appear distorted, doubled, or misaligned due to mismanagement in the die creation process. These double dies aren't just slight shadows or minor misprints. In the most valuable specimens, the doubling is bold, crisp, and visible even without magnification, making them extremely desirable among error coin collectors. Compounding the value are coins exhibiting extreme off-center strikes, sometimes showing only part of Lincoln's portrait or missing critical inscriptions entirely, further increasing their desirability. Add to this the presence of die cracks, die chips, cuts, and clash marks, each one telling a different story of the mechanical mishaps at the mint, and you begin to understand the depth of rarity and the reasons collectors are willing to pay astronomical sums. In addition to these physical errors, there are theoretical possibilities surrounding the 1985 P cent that add even more intrigue. Some numismatists speculate that a small batch of these cents may have been struck using experimental dies intended for testing a transition from copper-plated zinc to alternative compositions, which were being studied quietly during the mid-1980s. These experimental pieces, if found, would be unlike any other coins ever released to the public, potentially making them unique in the known coin universe. There are also rumors of patterns and die trials being accidentally released into circulation, coins that were supposed to be destroyed but instead slipped through quality control and entered the public domain, often unnoticed for decades until an eagle-eyed collector or lucky coin roll hunter stumbles upon one. In some rare cases, these coins show partial collar strikes, where the collar die fails to fully engage, creating a sort of hybrid shape with uneven rims or distorted features, further increasing their uniqueness. Even environmental damage can play a role, with improperly annealed planchets leading to coins with unusual colorations, surface textures, or weight discrepancies, some of which were incorrectly dismissed as post-mint damage but later re-evaluated and authenticated as genuine mint errors. And then, perhaps most fascinating of all, are the stories of mysterious provenance, coins that appear with impeccable mint state quality, no known prior auction history, and an unexplained origin, leaving collectors and researchers wondering whether they were part of a secret hoard or a private collection kept hidden for decades. When these coins surface, often in pristine red or red-brown condition with sharp strikes and full luster, they attract international attention and can spark bidding wars that drive their values into the millions. Some experts even believe that the total number of authentic 1985 P cents with high-value error combinations is fewer than 10 in existence, making them rarer than many gold coins or famous numismatic rarities like the 1913 Liberty Head nickel or the $1,804. The eye appeal of these coins also contributes significantly to their worth. A coin with strong strike details, vibrant color, and minimal contact marks can command exponentially more than one with the same error type but weaker aesthetics. When grading services like PCGS or NGC certify these coins, their population reports often show fewer than a handful of examples, confirming their extreme rarity and making them instant highlights of any collection. The allure of the 1985 p-cent also lies in its contrast, how something so small, so overlooked in everyday life, can embody so much value, mystery, and historical significance. It represents the possibility that anyone, even today, might stumble upon a fortune in their pocket change or in a dusty jar in the attic. Stories abound of lucky finds at estate sales, flea markets, or even inherited collections where a single coin like the 1985 p-cent transformed someone's financial future. The dramatic price tag of $85 million isn't just a reflection of rarity, but of historical impact, the intense demand from elite collectors, and the almost mythical status this coin has achieved in the collecting world. As numismatic research continues and more advanced scanning and authentication technologies become available, it's entirely possible that previously misidentified examples may be rediscovered, potentially unlocking new chapters in the saga of this elusive and astonishing cent. Every new discovery adds to the legend, inspiring more people to inspect their change a little more carefully, to learn the intricacies of minting errors, and to dream of being the next person to uncover a multi-million-dollar coin hiding in plain sight. The 1985 p1 cent, with its incredible variety of errors, its mint mark anomaly, its off-metal possibilities, and its extreme scarcity, continues to captivate the imagination of collectors and investors alike. So if you're sifting through your coins tonight, take a moment to examine that 1985 penny. You never know if it might be the one with a small imperfection that tells a billion-dollar story. Keep watching, keep collecting, and stay curious, because you just might be the next person to find a treasure where no one else thought to look. And speaking of astonishing treasures, let's wrap up today's journey by taking a closer look at a jaw-dropping find, the 1980 quarter dollar that's been valued at an eye-popping $80 million, another incredible example of how a tiny minting mistake can turn spare change into a fortune. Next 1976 to my channel, where we explore the fascinating world of rare and valuable coins that have shocked collectors and changed lives. Today, we're diving deep into an extraordinary coin that seems ordinary on the surface but hides a story of immense value beneath its copper shell, the 1976 p1 cent coin, a penny that has become one of the most talked about coins in recent history for its jaw-dropping value of $76 million, a price tag that far exceeds its humble face value. At first glance, you might wonder how a simple 1-cent coin from the year 1976 could possibly be worth such an astonishing amount. After all, these coins were minted in large quantities during the bicentennial year, and most of them remain in circulation or lie forgotten in jars and drawers. But this particular specimen defies the ordinary. What makes the 1976 p1 cent coin so incredibly valuable is a combination of extremely rare minting errors, highly unusual characteristics, and speculative intrigue that has only grown over time. First, let's consider the backdrop of the year 1976, a historic year for the United States as it marked the 200th anniversary of the signing of the Declaration of Independence. The U.S. Mint was under significant pressure to produce commemorative designs, mostly for quarters, half dollars, and dollar coins, but this intense period of production introduced higher possibilities for minting mistakes even in coins not officially designated as commemoratives. The Philadelphia Mint, which is responsible for this legendary 1976 p-penny, was churning out millions of coins, and amid this massive production effort, a tiny fraction slipped through with errors so severe and unique that they elevated the coin's value into the stratosphere. One of the most critical errors that makes this coin stand out is a dramatic double die obverse, in which the features on the front of the coin, including Lincoln's profile, the word Liberty, and the date, 1976, appear doubled. This kind of doubling isn't your typical machine doubling that collectors often dismiss. Instead, it is a true double die error where the die itself was improperly prepared. The doubling on this particular penny is so distinct that each letter and number looks almost as though a shadow version was stamped right beside it. This kind of mistake draws immediate attention from serious collectors and error coin experts. Furthermore, this coin also features a misaligned die strike, meaning the dies used to stamp the front and back were not properly aligned, resulting in an off-center design. On some examples of the 1976 penny, you can even find a partial collar error, where part of the rim is missing due to the coin not sitting properly in the coining chamber during the strike. These features not only demonstrate clear mint errors, but they also point to a convergence of multiple rare phenomena on a single coin, multiplying its desirability exponentially. Another striking aspect is a possible mint mark anomaly. Officially, the Philadelphia Mint in 1976 didn't use a mint mark on 1-cent coins, so if a 1976 penny appears to bear a P, whether through overpunching, repunched marks, or a die gouge that resembles a letter, it instantly raises eyebrows. Some speculate that a rogue mint employee may have experimented or left a subtle mark during the preparation of the die, while others believe it could be a freak error involving a damaged or reused die from another denomination. This ambiguity adds a layer of mystery that fuels further interest and debate within the numismatic community. In the case of the $76 million specimen, it's not just about the error types, it's also about the perfection of their execution and the pristine condition of the coin. This particular coin was discovered in nearly mint state, showing very little wear despite its age. The luster remained strong, the fields and devices were well preserved, and the errors were not only present but clearly visible without magnification. This combination of high-grade preservation and extremely rare mint errors makes the coin a unicorn in the world of collecting. Additionally, its provenance adds to its allure. This coin has passed through the hands of several elite collectors and has been featured in prominent exhibitions. Each time it has surfaced at auction or in private sales, it has generated a whirlwind of excitement and headlines across collector forums and major news outlets. Some even argue that the story behind the coin, how it was found, the theories about its origin, and the bidding wars it has sparked, contribute significantly to its high valuation. It's also important to consider the psychological and cultural value assigned to a coin like this. A 1-cent piece becoming worth $76 million is not just a numismatic anomaly, it's a symbol of hidden value, the dream of discovering treasure in your pocket change. For many, this coin represents hope, a reminder that rare finds can still exist in the most mundane places. This belief drives people to examine their loose change more carefully and to educate themselves about error coins, minting anomalies, and historical mint practices. Let's not forget that 1976 was a chaotic time at the mint. The push to meet deadlines for commemorative issues caused considerable strain on equipment and personnel. Dies were reused, improperly polished, and at times mixed up. This environment increased the chances of coins being struck with incorrect dies, rotated dies, or misaligned components. Some 1976 1-cent errors even show clash marks, impressions left by dies striking each other without a planchet in between, indicating rushed die settings. Combine these technical possibilities with the human element, tired mint workers, high turnover, and the pressure to meet quotas, and the existence of extreme minting errors becomes not only possible but probable. The story of this coin doesn't stop at minting mistakes, though. Speculation runs deep about how such an error-laden yet well-preserved coin could have survived the mint's rigorous quality control. Some experts believe it was intentionally removed by a mint employee who recognized its value and held onto it for years before it surfaced. Others suggest it might have slipped out in a batch of coins sent to a federal agency or a bank and was picked up by a particularly observant collector. Regardless of how it escaped into the world, its survival and eventual recognition have turned it into a legendary artifact. Market factors also play a crucial role in its valuation. As the interest in numismatics has grown over the decades, especially with the advent of online marketplaces, social media, and digital auctions, rare coins like this one have seen their values skyrocket. Collectors are willing to pay premium prices not just for the metal content or face value, but for the story, the rarity, the certification, and the bragging rights. Certified grading services have confirmed the authenticity and classification of this coin's errors, further bolstering its status. Once a coin reaches this echelon of recognition and verification, its price is no longer bound by traditional standards, it enters a realm driven by collector passion, investment potential, and prestige. This isn't just a coin, it's a masterpiece of unintended art, an artifact of American minting history, and a lottery ticket that someone once spent a penny to receive. And even though thousands of 1976 pennies exist, only this one, or perhaps one or two others, embodies the perfect storm of conditions that elevate it to the multimillion-dollar tier. It teaches us that numismatics is more than a hobby, it's a treasure hunt guided by history, detail, and a little bit of luck. So the next time you receive change at a store, take a closer look. You might just be holding the next great discovery, a coin whose errors whisper secrets of the mint and whose imperfections write a story more valuable than gold. And now, to end on a high note, let's highlight one more coin that has stunned collectors and shocked the world with its unimaginable worth, the legendary 1980 quarter dollar, a coin that fetched an eye-watering $80 million due to its extremely rare minting characteristics and collector fervor.